Clapson gets it. Being chased out of the pocket and dumped back at the 39-yard line. Okeke, the first of about 3 different Louisville players to close in on him. First and 10 from the 35 for North Carolina State. And this is a quick pitch, and Lucene fumbled, and Louisville pounces on it. Lucene lost the ball at the 40-yard line, and Louisville is right there to get it for their 3rd turnover of the game. Tavarius Peterson with the fumble recovery.
What I talked about last night, what Chris talked about today, was fight. How much fight you got in you, man? How much fight you got in you? Not only on the football field, we talk about life. How much fight you got in life? Because you know you got to go through it, man. First half, we didn't do that great, but the second half, you guys came out and dominated the second half, man. That was a great job of finishing the game and fighting right there.
Here's a play fake. He rolls left, has some space wide to the 20, 15 to the 10, pulls out of a tackle, touchdown! Cunningham with the keeper runs in his 6th touchdown this year from 19 yards out. Second down and 12. Hawkins is the back, and here's a play fake and a throw down the middle of the field and down the sideline. Actually caught by Ford down the sideline, and he scores! King gets this away. This one's pretty good, a little wobbly, and he's got it at the 32. Fumbles it! Loose football! And I think they got it back. No, now Louisville picks it up, and here goes Abdullah running in.
What we did tonight is only the second team in the history of the ACC to go from 0-8 to 5-3. The second team in the history of the whole ACC. So what you guys did tonight is unprecedented. It's unprecedented, man. So you guys deserve it. You deserve to celebrate. You deserve to feel good about yourself from where you came from and where you're at right now. Unbelievable job. And guess what? We ain't finished either, guys.
Bentley bends over the ball, but Cunningham awaiting the snap. Shifts Hawkins from right to left. Cunningham back to pass. Better protection. Throws it. Complete. Open receiver. 25, 30. Atwell darts to the 40. Atwell is free down the sideline, and he's going to go. Touchdown. 2-2 Atwell. Louisville scores on yet another big play. Flush. Sacked. Burns broke through and grabbed him by the ankle. Takes the handoff. Looks to throw. Now being chased. And dumped, and the ball came loose. Cunningham steps up the pocket. Throws a long downfield. Open man. Caught for a touchdown to Fitzpatrick. And Cunningham on a quick throw out to Atwell, who can throw again, and he will. Wide open. Caught at the 5-yard line, and a touchdown for the Cardinals. 2-2 Atwell hooks up with Marshawn Ford to the 20. Almost broke loose. Spins ahead and loses the ball. Louisville's got it. Kicker's got it. The kicker fell on the football. Louisville's 2 safeties, pass and Fago, are about 20 yards deep. Here comes the play. Now he steps up and runs over to the left. Still running. Spins away from one hit and caught from behind and lost the ball. And Louisville's got it. Running the other way down the sideline. Touchdown, Cardinals pass. Ran it back for a score. The Cardinals storm the field in delight as they've closed out a monster turnaround season with a bowl game win, 38-28 over Mississippi State.
These guys right here, back December when we first got there, just needed somebody to love on them. Our staff did an unbelievable job coming in here, being consistent every single day. One thing we talked about was attitude and effort. These guys right here brought that every single day. I'm so proud of them, and I'm so proud of Card Nation and stands too, people. Yes, sir! Thank you! We had 27 seniors that stuck it out with us this year. I'm so proud of those 27 seniors. That was for those guys. And then it was also for these young guys on this football team and the ones that just signed with us in December, which we got 18 of them coming up in January next week. They'll be there. So this program moving forward, they know they're going to belong to a championship caliber program. That's what they know. We can't wait to get started for next season and play next season. So, but tonight, we're going to burn up Nashville, I can tell you that.
If I'm a Louisville fan, I think there's something in the water there. I mean, Sat's done an unbelievable job building momentum, and now they may have a chance to capitalize. There's a lot of momentum with this program.
They're going to score points. There is no question Louisville's going to light up a scoreboard. Big picture for Louisville, expectations are high, and they should be.
Welcome everybody to the 2020 virtual kickoff luncheon for the Louisville Cardinals. We wish that we could all be together today. It would have been such an exciting event, but thank you for tuning in. The expectations are sky high for this Cardinal football team. So much returning talent. Everybody back on the staff but one coach. The expectations are so high, and we're so excited to kick it off on September 12th. First off, we want to thank our presenting sponsors, Canon and Axis Audiovisual. Thank you for your support of Cardinal Athletics. And we also want to thank the Galt House for your support, and we look forward to hosting our first event there next year. Now, let's take a look back at last year.
Everything that we're going to do here, we're going to compete for championships. You guys didn't pick me, but I picked you guys. You got small goals day by day, and then those are going to accumulate to wins, a lot of wins. Let's run, coach! I'm proud of you. Extremely, extremely proud of you, the way you fought. Listen, that's a good football team. The guys played in the semifinals last year. We're going to be good this year. We're going to be good this year, right? We're going to be good this year.
Man, what a story the Louisville Cardinals have been.
Scott Satterfield's first season at Louisville has been the most impressive one-year rebuild in college football this year.
This feeling right here, you got to remember, this got to be the norm. This got to be the norm right here. We want to come in here doing the celebration every freaking time we play.
Atwell is screen down the sideline. Hall runs wide to the 30. Hall down the sideline.
He and his staff and those kids had bought in, coming off 2-10.
I want to win. I know you want to win. I can start, you want to win.
And for that crew to be going to a bowl this year, that is a spectacularly great job.
Hey, you know where you're going?
And I got news for you. He's going to win some more before it's over.
We talked about this last night to these 27 guys that stuck it out with all of us. The 27 seniors that stuck it out. What you guys did, where nobody thought you could win a game, picked last in the ACC, picked to win 3 games on the season. Hey, guess what? What? We won 8 games!
What a fun trip down memory lane that was. An 8-5 season coming off a 2-10 season, and all the staff but one returning this year. So many starters coming back. Really has me fired up for this Louisville football season this year. Now, let me introduce the Vice President and Director of Athletics, Vince Tyre.
Well, thank you for joining us today. We're coming to you from a special place. We're at the top floor of the Galt House Hotel and the Swizzle Restaurant, so you can kind of see that we're sitting here with the beautiful river view behind us to present you the 2020 virtual kickoff luncheon for the University of Louisville football. You know, I'm excited about putting this on today, but also more excited about having our sponsors. Canon has always been a terrific sponsor. Axis Audiovisual, great sponsor as usual, helping us in these events. And then obviously the Galt House is one of those that we're relying on this year, and we hope to hold next year's event live at the Galt House and not from the Swizzle, but you know, we'll play it by ear. So also want to thank the athletic department. I'd like to thank the support of our board of trustees, the athletic board. Neely Bendaputi, our president, has been terrific and great supporter of our athletic program, and to me personally, I can't say enough about that. But this is a different kind of year with COVID, and certainly we're trying to manage around it. You know, you guys have been great. Our fans and supporters have been terrific. Card Nation, you've shown your true colors. And, you know, we know it's testing of you as well. We hope to get started and plan to get started on September 12th. But between here and there, and hopefully maybe this afternoon we'll have an email out related to what our fans in the stands plan is. And we've been communicating with the governor and working with the office, trying to make sure that we have a very safe, feasible plan, that operation that we can pull off on behalf of you as our guests coming to games. And we'll let you know that as soon as we can. Again, it may be as early as this afternoon. But from that, let's move on. Can't tell you how excited we are about the season getting going. It's always a time when you get here and you start to reflect back and sort of look back at how last year ended, so you think ahead to how this year's going to go. And last year we had a new coaching staff, new head coach, a lot of questions and issues around the quarterback position earlier in the year. Defensively, a lot of inexperience, and the fourth defensive coordinator in 4 years. And boy, did the year start off a little interesting, but as the year moved on, the coaching staff really came together. Just terrific. What a great staff we have, led by Coach Scott Satterfield. Scott had an amazing year, probably the best in the ACC and one of the best in college football in his early career. We're so fortunate to have his leadership, and I think that really secured things for us offensively. He was a mastermind, and the quarterback position became one of our strengths, not one of our weaknesses as the year moved on. And so many offensive weapons like Tutu and Hawk, Dez, Big Ticket, all those nicknames of guys that really performed extremely well. And then on the defensive side, we shored things up as the year went on. Dorian Etheridge in the middle, great veteran, be back this year to lead us, and Rajay Burns, just a couple names there that we have. But we've got some great veteran experience now that we didn't have last year, and then a couple of recruiting classes worth of depth certainly has put us in a position that we wanted to be in, but we're certainly in this year moving ahead. So as we look ahead, we're excited about the Western game on September 12th. We're also excited about the schedule. COVID threw us a curveball. Now we're going to play 10 conference games, not 8. And we still have a Notre Dame game, which will count as a conference game. But a great home schedule. Following up the Western game is we'll have the Miami Hurricanes in town, which we've hosted them before and been successful. We hope to be again. When they show up, we're really excited. Again, just mentioning the things, having the veterans back, great experience on both sides of the ball this year. Coach Satterfield and the staff stayed intact. As you know, continuity is so key to having a great program and having a year in, year out success. And that's what we're excited about. And the fact that this will be interesting, having one division in the ACC this year instead of two, and the two best teams will go to Charlotte for the ACC championship in December. So we're hopeful to get off to a great start with a non-conference win and then build right into that, as we get into the conference games. We certainly ended last year on a good note with the Music City Bowl, and man, the fan support there was terrific. Throughout the whole weekend that we were down there, and then obviously the game, we kicked their butt, and there was nothing more beautiful than that. So it was a great way to end the season and rally into to this one. And while the COVID virus may present a different challenge for this year, I can tell you that our coaching staff and players have been terrific. They've really worked hard the spring, this summer, and preparing for the fall, and getting things going, and to get you excited about what we have in front of us. I'll let Ann, what Coach Satterfield has in line for us. Take a look at this video. I think you'll be hyped after this.
Director of Athletics Vince Tyree unveiled a phased plan Thursday to have student-athletes return to campus. The announcement today gives Cards fans some hope regarding sports in 2020, but that also leads to some other questions, such as what's the current status of college football this fall?
98-4, Puma pass. All right, we're good. Go ahead.
Yaya Diaby from Riverdale, Georgia.
Fifth year, grad transfer in
O-line, yep.
This is your group, guys. This is what we're trying to build. You guys are going to stay together, okay? This is our group, so try to eliminate contact outside of this group.
On Judgment Day, I won't fade away. I'll be pushing on.
Let's go!
Till the rivers run dry, I've got to try.
Y'all boys keep working, girl.
I'll keep pushing on.
Get up hard, get up.
Till my give it all away. I'll keep pushing on. Till the rivers run dry, I've got to try. I'll keep pushing on.
That's our goal right there, man. If you don't want that to be your goal, then you just walk up, down these stairs, and get on out of here. Or back there. It don't matter to me. We don't want you in this room if this is not your goal.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a pleasure of mine to introduce you guys to Des Fitzpatrick and Dorian Etheridge, guys that have made plays on the field for the Cards for a number of years, and we are going to get some feedback from them, some great information from them on what this offseason was like for them and how camp has gone so far. So we're going to start off with Des. How different has this camp been compared to the 4 others you've been a part of here?
You know, it's been slightly different, but we're just happy to be back in, check in just the protocols and the procedures that we have to go through because of COVID-19 hit. But, we're just happy to be back and playing football, so that's the best thing.
Absolutely. Dorian, what was your off season like? You're back home. It's had to be tough to be away from here, but how much different is an off season like that compared to normal?
It was different as far as just the structure that we would get when we were around here, just like the meals. And we often take those things for granted. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'll sometimes see them as like a burden, just having to just check in at breakfast or check in at lunch, even when you're not hungry. But when you're at home, it's just like you're like, man, I'm hungry, all the time. So it's just one of those things where it was a lot of self-motivation. It was a lot of self-motivation just to get up and work out every day, because it's a lot easier to work out when you got the whole team around you. And we push each other. That's one of the things we always we emphasize. We push each other leadership, but it's hard to be a leader when you're by yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as hard as you guys work and as driven as you guys are, that probably gave you guys a chance to get a step up on your competition, because I know that you both handled business. Des, what are your expectations for the offense this year? You have a great 2019 season, a ton of big plays. What's your expectations for 2020?
I expect our offense to be like lightning in a bottle. Just so many different weapons across the board. We have Hawk on foot. We have Sonny right behind him. We have, Malik throwing the ball. We have Tutu, All-American. We got the front line right there. Cole Bentley coming back. Robbie Bell, obviously. We have me back there. We have receivers coming up. I just feel like we all have a core that we've all gelled together, that we're just ready to go. And I feel like if we all do everything that we can do, if we all push each other, if we all do our 111th, everybody does their 111th, the sky's the limit for our offense. And I feel like we can do much better than we did last year.
Yeah, that would be incredible, because you had a great offensive run last year. I know Card Nation's excited about this offense. This defense, now for the first time in your career, Dorian, you get to play in the same scheme in back-to-back years. How beneficial is that for a defense?
It's just so refreshing, just not to have to day one installs. It's like for spring ball or for fall camp. And of course, we would start over each camp, but it's really a review. So we can just get into the finer details that other than just trying to learn the defense. We can play faster. We go over the install and it's really just like a little 5-second review. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's just one of those things where everybody can just fine tune those little things that can really take us to the next level.
That's great. Des, after all that you guys have been through this offseason, what will it be like to take the field on September 12th?
I feel like it will be an honor, honestly, just everything that we've gone through. Thankfully, we had a week of spring ball, and then we left for spring break, everybody thinking we're going to come back, and then Corona hits, and, we don't see the coaches, we don't see you guys for 3 months. So everybody, the speculations of the season, not season, the speculation Big Ten canceling, Pac-12 or Pac canceling. So, we're just all been grinding, in the back of our heads. People's been talking, the social media and everything. So that first game is going to be, I feel like everybody's just going to be ready. And so I think it means everything.
That's great. Dorian, what kind of leadership role have you taken so far at this camp?
I really just being like a vocal guy with the defense. We got a lot of young guys that came in, and JUCO guys that came in. But I think they're ready to play. So it's just like, to build that depth, we got to have leadership. We got to have to show them. You can tell them all you want, but they got to actually see how to perform on the field, learn how to practice. That's the thing that a lot of guys don't know how to do when they first get to college, is learn how to practice and just build those habits. So really just being vocal and making sure I lead by example at all times.
Awesome. Des, heading into your senior season, what do you want for your final season at U of L?
I want it to mean everything for me, for the fans, for my family. And I just want to give back to everything that I owe to, the University of Louisville. this is my 5th year, returning, and I returned for a reason because I feel like there's a lot that I still have to prove, and I want to leave every stone unturned. And so, I'm ready. I want to bring a championship, ACC championship, national championship back to Louisville, and that's the reason why I came back, and it's the reason why I came here in the first place. So, that's what I'm most focused on, and so I think this is the team for it.
Perfect. Dorian, how much better can this defense be in 2020?
It could be night and day. I mean, we had flashes last year where we would do the majority of everything right, but it'll always be that one little play or that one missed assignment that'll just kind of like overshadow the good things. And I just think it's just like this year with all of the experience we have, 8 starters coming back on defense, it can be one of those things where it can really be special. And I know, that's like a little cliche thing, but I truly believe that. This is our first year having the same D coordinator.
Right.
So it's just like, that's already a step in the right direction. It's just like for us, we have a lot of leaders on the defense. And if everybody just show up and just do what they do every day in practice, then it'll be night and day from last year.
That's great stuff, guys. Thank you so much for all this information that you provided for Card Nation. On a team full of superstars, it's awesome to have 2 guys, 2 tremendous leaders with so much talent like yourselves pour in to this virtual luncheon, give the fans a taste, and we would have all loved to have been all together. You all would have gotten huge rounds of applause, but thank you so much for your time here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Welcome back. I'm now here with Coach Satterfield. We're going to get a little preview on this 2020 season. And first off, Coach, let's start off. How proud are you of how everyone has handled this difficult situation?
Yeah, I'm really proud. It's obviously we're going through something that nobody's ever gone through, and really, and particularly, I think our strength and conditioning staff, along with our training staff and our medical team here at the University of Louisville, have been outstanding. All those 3 to 4 months, we had time to plan everything about the return to campus. And our guys have done a great job. Kudos to our players for doing everything that we're asking them to do. And it hadn't been easy. I know that. With coming in with the temperature checks, the mask wearing, and doing all the protocols we have to go through. It's a lot different. But these guys have done a great job with it. I'm excited to be where we are right now, and with this opportunity to play a great season.
Yeah, all those sacrifices. It shows how important it is to the staff and even the players to make those sacrifices. It shows how bad they want to play in 2020. Looking at this season, looking at your coaching staff, you only lose 1 coaching staff member, goes back to Appalachian State last year. How important is it for you and your staff to have that continuity year in and year out?
Yeah, I think for us, you want consistency. I think that's the biggest thing. And so consistency in a staff is outstanding to be able to have that year in and year out. We had that when I was at App State, and now, really kind of the same thing. And it's not only the full-time guys, it's also your support guys as well. We lost a few of those guys, but we were able to keep some as well. And, everybody understands their role. I think that's what it comes down to. We know where our role is. We're going to do it to the best of our ability. And then that filters down to our players. Our players know these coaches. They know how they coach. They know how they teach, all the different things. When you have that consistency, I think you're just getting a higher level of play. I feel like the kids get more confidence that way. And so we, kind of this year and a half into this thing now, and things are going really, really well. And again, everything's pointing to us to this season. One of the main reasons you don't want to miss a season like this is because we feel like we got great chemistry. We got a great group coming back, and we want to show and prove that what we did last year wasn't a fluke. That this year can be something special.
What have you seen from a leadership standpoint so far through camp in this uncertain time?
Yeah, I think the leadership is really showing. It's not, you think about COVID and the virus part of it, but you also look at the social unrest that's happened throughout the country. And I think we've had a lot of players step up and stand out and lead in a great way, as well as coaches. And, so I'm really proud of everybody here in this building. The things that they have come out and done and said, and and I think we'll continue to do that. And so 2020, we all know 2020 is going to go down as one of these years that is remarkable, and a lot of it in bad ways. But I think also when we come out of this on the other side, it's also going to be remarkable in a lot of things that got done and accomplished throughout this year. And I think that's kind of what we've been focused on here within our program is trying to stay positive and what are the things that we can do to have a positive impact on society as well as our community. And, so yeah, I'm really proud of our guys and our team around here. And, and I think hopefully it's also brought us closer. I mean, that's the other thing. It's just brought us, I think, the tight-knit group that we do have and will continue to have because of the things we've gone through.
Yeah, facing adversity is either going to pull you apart or bring you together. I'm happy to hear that. It's bringing this football program together. And with all that's happened since March, how excited are you to kick it off on September 12th?
Yeah, I'm really excited. We've had a really good summer. We talked about the return to campus protocols, and we brought our guys in phases, and that went really smooth. And then, now going through camp, and really it was a short camp, before school started. We're back in school now, and so it's kind of like a normal schedule now, but we do have several weeks before we actually play a game. So I think we're going to be very anxious to play. You get to a point in practice where you're tired of hitting the same person over and over and over, and you want to see a different opponent. And so, we're just excited. We're ready to get on the field. And since our bowl game last year, I feel like we've just continued to get better and better throughout the year and the season, this all season, headed into this season. So, yeah, let's put the ball down. Let's play somebody.
There wasn't a whole lot of expectations on the 2019 team. You're coming off a 2-10 season where there was a lot of disappointment. Coaching change happens. All this happens. And now heading into 2020 after a great season last year, so far improved, how has this team now managed to handle the expectations that are now fairly lofty?
Yeah. Well, I think we want those expectations.
Right.
We want to be, picked a team that's going to be a contender, not only in our league but nationally. And I think that's where we want to be. And so, we talked about it when we first started practice about there's been some individuals get some accolades and getting on these preseason award lists and preseason All ACC and all those things are great and we all want that. But the reason why they're getting that is because they played as a team last year. And so I think the one thing that we've kind of gotten across since we've been here is that each and every one of you guys have to compete. Everything you do every day. And when you do that, you're going to get better and better as an individual. And so, these guys, they don't really care about that stuff. I mean, it's great to get those accolades. At the end of the season, we want to be able to look back and say what a great year that was. It was a great year for Hawkins or for Tutu or Des Fitzpatrick. I mean, but you stay in the moment and you focus on competing, doing the best you can. Those things will happen. These guys are ready to get on the field and prove that they're really good football players.
Yeah, individual accolades come with team success.
Absolutely.
That's the way it always works. My sophomore year here, I'm an All-American. We're ranked top 5 in the country. Play better my junior and senior year and make none of the lists because we weren't any good.
That's right.
What have you guys accomplished in the first 2 weeks of fall camp?
Well, a lot, I think. We've got our veterans in, and they've getting some reps and those type of things. We're really kind of focused on the young guys. You're really trying to develop depth and try to get those guys coached up to speed, so to speak, before we start playing. And they've made some mistakes, so that's going to happen. But I've just been pleased with everything that these guys have been able to accomplish in the first few weeks of practice. We'll continue to get better with them. But again, you have to go through the adversity. You have to make the mistakes so you can coach off of that so you won't make those mistakes again and continue to get better. So, but I'm really pleased with some of the veterans, what they've been able to do, make some big-time plays. As you look at the starters offensively, that whole group I think is very, very solid. To me, one of the best in the country as you look from top to bottom with the playmakers that we have. And now we've got to develop some more depth. And I think, defensively, first time we've had the same defensive coaches, same scheme, so that's been beneficial. That's helped. But again, developing depth with the young guys, I think is kind of what we've been focusing on, and we hopefully, with a few more weeks before we play, these guys will get a little bit better with that and that experience.
On Saturday, you have the first scrimmage of camp so far. From my understanding, big plays on offense and defense. When you went back and looked at the film, what pleased you the most as you analyzed it?
Yeah, it was a lot of big plays early in the scrimmage, particularly offensively. Some of the playmakers, Justin Marshall made some big plays. Maurice Berkeley at running back made some big plays. We held out Hawkins and Hall, but then 4 other running backs made plays, so that's great to see. And then, for the most part, our offensive line, the first group did a great job protecting the quarterback. I thought that was good. Cunningham threw the ball great. Puma threw great. Evan, the quarterbacks played really good. Then in the second half of the scrimmage, I was really proud of the defense because, they could have
Could have really easily hung their heads, folded the tent up, and said, all right, we're done. But no, we went red zone. I think maybe scored one time in the whole last 45 minutes of practice. So they did a really good job of just kind of bowling their necks up and not giving up the touchdown. We feel like it's a win if we can hold teams to field goals. And speaking of field goals, we got a lot of good work in special teams. We all know we got some new kickers that are going to be out there, and we're still in great competition with that. Probably 3 or 4 guys that are still competing. And, so that's going to be fun to see where that comes to who ends up being the player when we start the game season off.
You mentioned the big plays in the scrimmage. Big plays were one of the biggest reasons that this offense made jumps last year, that the team had the success it did. How do you increase on those number of big plays offensively this year?
Well, I think we just continue to do the same things that we did last year. What's different this year is the fact that where we're starting at, the starting point of the season right now, we've got a lot of offense in, where last year we were very limited in kind of some of the things that we're doing. We're still trying to figure out who can make plays, who's going to be the guys that go over the top and those type things. But when you talk about some of the guys we have, I feel like we don't have enough footballs, really. I mean, there's so many guys with Hawkins, we know is one of the biggest threat from the running back position in the country. And then you put Hall in there, which is just as dynamic, who is third in the country in kickoff return, so he can fly. And then when you look on the outside, some of the guys we have, I mentioned Justin Marshall, Des Fitzpatrick, Tutu Atwell, and then, forward at tight end is a great weapon at, coming out of the backfield also. So, and then on top of that, you got some quarterbacks that can run and throw. I mean, so it's just a lot of big players that we do have there. Very, very exciting if you're an offensive fan out there that wants to see points. I mean, I feel like we're going to be able to score some points. And then, but defensively, we all know we got to get better there. We got to be able to hold teams, and that's where we need to improve. And I think that's the one thing that we have to focus on these next 3 weeks.
You're big on consistency. You've mentioned it a few times. This is the first time in a long time this defense has had the same scheme back-to-back. What strides have you seen from the defense so far during camp?
Well, I think the ability to do a lot of different things, I think, because, again, you've been here a year and a half. You're not starting back from square one. And so we're able to put our base defense in early, and now we've expanded that. So now we're able to bring pressure from all over the field. We're able to interchange some guys, move them some different spots. That will help us, and that'll give you some more depth, if you do have issues coming in through the season. In the scrimmage, we had a couple of guys dinged up that didn't participate in the defensive backfield, so now you're able to play a lot of young guys. And again, I think we can create some more depth. Last year, depth was an issue on defense. We didn't have as many players that we could put in there. I feel like this year we'll have a little bit more. They'll be young and inexperienced. They'll probably make a few mistakes, but you're going to still have those bodies to be able to put in there, because we know if they continue to get reps, they're going to get better and better throughout the year.
Who stood out so far on the defensive line in your mind so far through camp?
Well, I think, probably one of the most talented one up there is Goldwire. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who's extreme size at 6'5", close to 300 pounds, but he can move and very agile. And I thought he had a solid season last year, but I think what he's been able to do this all season, man, you really can see the strides he's been able to make. He's a guy that people have a hard time blocking. He'll probably demand a double team up front, and when you demand a double team, we know it's going to free up those linebackers. Dorian and CJ, those guys are going to be able to run and get to the ball carrier. But I think he's probably been the most impactful. I think, as far as newcomers go, I think Yaya's got a lot of talent. Once he figures out scheme-wise what we're doing, he's another long athlete, 6'4", can really run. I think Saturday made some plays chasing the quarterback out of the pocket with that length. He's able to get to him. So I'm excited about him, because I think he's got a huge upside. I think he'll continue to get better and better every week.
Hey, I was excited for you to say Goldwire, because I saw him in the spring and really stood out. But when a guy steps out of the building for 4 months, sometimes you don't know what they're going to come back like. So the fact that he's making plays through fall camp is a great sign for this Cardinals defense. You already mentioned it once with the special teams, and you replaced 2 longtime starters here. Does that become a pure competition, and how's that competition going now?
It is. It's straight competition. I think what Cricky and Mason King did for the last several years here, it's going to be a new era in the kicking here, and it's punting, and it's also in field goals and extra points. So it's wide open. We want those guys to compete. Again, one day we'll put, one of the guys will get you first team, the next day maybe a third team. I also want to see how they react to that. And then at the same time, we're trying to put them in situations like we did in the scrimmage, where we need a kick right here. You trot them out there and let's see what they can do. They've been kicking well. It's been a very good competition. I'm sure this competition will probably go all the way to game week, and then we'll decide, who'll be the guy to trot out there. But I mean, in this world of kicking, man, it's so much of it is mental. So we're trying to put them in adverse situations just to play with their mind so they can block all that out and just try to make the kick.
Yeah, based upon our golf games, we don't have that mental precision down, so we won't be giving them any advice, but I'm excited to see how that shakes out. Where do you want the next 3 weeks of camp to go? It's obviously, you're 2 weeks in now, but you've never had a time where you've been away from the guys for so long. So now you got their feet wet. What do you want to see over these next 3 weeks?
Well, one of the things that we did different here as compared to a lot of other schools, we started earlier. And, I know some schools just started practicing this weekend. We're finishing our 10th day of practice. So our thought process was, let's go ahead and get it in. Let's get some scrimmages under our belt, which we'll scrimmage again at the end of this week. And then we'll start pulling back a little bit physically. And then I think most of it's going to be mental after that point. And so, we do have more time now. We're giving them 2 days off, 3 different times, which in the past, they've never gotten 3 days off in the middle of August, right? But I think that's going to pay dividends for us because they're just physically and mentally, they'll be fresher. Their bodies will be more ready to go. And so we're, hopefully that'll pay off for us. And so the next 3 weeks will be finish up with a scrimmage, and then the next 2 will be basically mental practices getting ready for the opponent.
Great stuff. Can't thank you enough for your time. Thank you for this preview you've given all of Card Nation out there. Good luck this season. Stay healthy to you and your family.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for everyone for tuning in to the 2020 Virtual Kickoff Luncheon. We look forward to being back with you in person in 2021. Thank you for your support of Cardinal Athletics. Get ready for an exciting ride this season.